everyone. Thanks so much for joining. I am so excited you're here listening to the live or to the replay, and I'm so excited to have my guest here with me today, Dr. Kaitlyn Rios. And am I pronouncing that right, Dr. Kaitlyn?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, that's great. Well, thank you so much for being here. And I want to introduce you to our guest because you're just doing such incredible work, Kaitlyn. So first of all, welcome to the Mental Backroads and Highways show. In this live show, I interview incredible leaders who are trailblazing and pioneering for a better tomorrow in our homes, community, and globally. And Kaitlyn Rios, I'm so excited she's here again. So Kaitlyn is a doctor of physical therapy and a board certified wound specialist. Her physical therapy career has been anything but typical and has led her to pursue many niche and diverse leadership opportunities. Currently, she works as the VP of Clinical Business Development for a rapidly growing national wound product manufacturer. In her spare time, Kaitlyn seeks to give back to her community via serving at her church and furthering the development of her nonprofit organization, Faced with Grace, which offers motivational mentorship to women navigating the challenges of workplace toxicity. In her spare time, she enjoys spending time with her family, recreational and professional writing, creating ceramic pottery, and going to concerts. Kaitlyn lives life always striving to honor her core values of integrity, authenticity, gratitude, adaptability, and humility. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Absolutely. Well, Kaitlyn, please tell us about yourself and your mission. I would love to hear more.
Yes. So Faced with Grace was formed out of experience and then out of a deep calling to do more from those experiences. So I work in healthcare. Obviously, I'm a physical therapist and wound specialist. And throughout my career, I have unfortunately encountered many workplaces that were not so healthy and I hit some low points. I had some negative experiences. And throughout all of that, somehow I made it out on the other side. And I felt this deep calling to take those experiences and do more with them, to learn from those experiences, find the silver linings, help other women navigate the challenges that I faced myself. And so Faced with Grace was born. And so we're on a mission to really just break the chains of toxicity in the workforce. And so we do that in 3 different ways. One is our open eyes, open minds, open hearts method, which helps women navigate through the turmoils of a toxic workplace and thereafter the trauma that forms from that. Then we also offer our Pearl leadership framework for either women who have already gone through the toxic situation and want to get better at their leadership skills, or just for companies and women in general who want to foster healthy workplaces and they want to teach healthy leadership practices. And then last but not least, we pay it forward to the young women who have yet to enter the workforce by teaching them the red flags of toxic workplaces, teaching them healthy culture practices and great leadership skills. So it's sort of a 3-pronged approach to fighting the good fight.
Oh, I love that. That's amazing. And that's so powerful. And I feel like it is so rampant. Like there's just so much toxicity, I feel like, in just so many areas. And tell us more about why is this an important conversation to have? Why is this important to lift each other up with and come together as women who may have experienced workplace toxicity?
Right. So workplace toxicity it's very manipulative. It makes you feel very isolated and very alone. I know I experienced that myself. I know many women have come to me and said, oh my gosh, I thought I was alone in feeling this. I thought I was crazy. And I think that by illuminating what is happening and just being open and honest and authentic about it, we're helping women to feel supported just in the fact that they're not alone, right? Like just being there and saying, hey, I'm in this with you. Let's lock arms and do this together. I think it's huge. We as women, I think, are just wired that way to support each other. I think we're really great at that. But if women are doing this alone and not realizing that other people are feeling this way too, they don't even know that they have someone they can lock arms with. So a big part of this is just my deep calling to save women from having to go through it alone. It was awful to go through it myself alone. And I just don't want anyone to have to walk through that journey by themselves.
And thank you so much for what you're doing. I truly appreciate that. I'm so proud of you that you took that experience. It's I feel like our in these dark times or these adverse experiences, we have this kind of like desire, this passion that rises, that's born from them. And
Mhm.
Kaitlyn, is there anything you'd like to share about your personal journey, or anything that maybe could help others, of like, what why I don't and I'm not sure what I'm really asking here, but I just feel like it's something that is so much more common, that, and I'm glad we're bringing this out into the open, but I feel like it just, people don't talk about it as much,
Yeah.
like it's still this like hush thing, but it happens
Yeah.
everywhere. It seems like, almost, I mean, not everywhere, but like just any kind of location, and it's just kind of mind boggling.
Yeah. And I've definitely noticed that as well. Like, this is not isolated to the healthcare industry by any means. I
Yeah.
experienced it there myself just because that was my path. But I've heard of this in numerous settings, numerous workplaces, numerous types of industries. And yeah, I mean, to share a little bit more of my story, and just so people recognize that you can get to a very low place without even really realizing it. Like, this has taken me years to process and understand what I was dealing with. So if you're in the thick of it and can't see through the mess, oh, there again, like, you're not alone. Like, you're not, I fault no one for being in the midst of it and not realizing it. So that's part of what we do too, is just helping you to open your eyes. But just, throw it out there, like, this might be triggering to some. I like to disclose that. But when I was at my lowest point, driving to work every day, I had my daughter was in the back seat. She was an infant still. She went to the daycare right next door to my workplace, and so every day I had this like 25-minute drive to work. And when I was going through this workplace, it just had a lot of really toxic dynamics. The workplace itself was fine, but when you add in all the layers and the complexities of that, it got really messy, and it got very, very mentally unsafe for me, psychologically unsafe. And so during that drive into work every day, it got to the point where it was just like road noise the whole way. Like, I couldn't even enjoy music anymore. I was white knuckling it the whole way. And I remember one day very clearly, I literally had the thought come through me of like, what if I just let go of the steering wheel? There's this great overpass that would just end it all, and I would not have to go to work. It'd be so much easier. Like, it would just be anything would be easier than not showing up at work today. Like, that's how awful it was. And the whole reason we call this organization Face with Grace is because I looked up in my rearview mirror and saw my baby girl. And it was like Jesus was just shining in my back seat. And it was just this moment of such clarity that I can't let go. I have to keep going. Like, there is a reason that I'm on this earth. And I firmly believe it is to do exactly what I'm doing right now. And that's to help show other women that we all go through this probably at some point in our careers, unfortunately, and that you're not alone. You're not crazy. There is a way forward, and that ending it all is not the best option. And so, I think that just to help people recognize that the symptoms I was experiencing were extremely physiological, and I was ignoring every single one of them. I was postpartum, probably 6 months, and wearing extra small scrubs that were literally hanging off my body. Like, I lost weight like nobody's business, and didn't think that had anything to do with stress. I wasn't even thinking like that. I was like, oh, cool, lost my baby weight. It just didn't even resonate. I barely ate. I barely slept. Work was coming home with me every single night. And I just thought that was normal, because that's what I had been conditioned to believe was what I needed to do to succeed and to climb the ladder and continue to be successful in my career. And that's just so unhealthy. Every bit of that is so unhealthy. And I think that we go through this conditioning, and we go through this sort of mind game in the corporate and healthcare and whatever fill in the blank world, where we're just held to this expectation that's so unrealistic.
Absolutely. Oh, well, thank you so much for sharing that, Kaitlyn, so vulnerably. And I'm so proud of you. And it takes such strength, such courage to be able to then share your story with others, to inspire others. And you are almost like that ripple in a pond. You're creating ripple effects by saying, you know, this is not okay. It impacted my mental health to this extent. And we need to start talking about this. We need to start. And I am so grateful that you had that moment of clarity. And it's so, I feel like, you know, again, that downplay, like I remember like there was the time that like I just didn't want to get out of my car, would cry before I going into work every day. It was just, and it ate at me. And like it just, it is so hard. And oh my gosh, I can feel for that story. And I would love for you, Kaitlyn, to tell us more about, like, if anyone it can relate to that. Is that something that, like, how can they learn more about Face with Grace? How can they connect with you? How can they join? I know you guys have all sorts of sessions, get-togethers. So tell us more about that.
Yeah. So once a month, we're hosting a fireside chat. That's the
Mhm.
second Saturday of every month. And we sit down with experts in the field, people who have different experiences, anything from dealing with grief in the workplace to leadership skills to how to find, ways to cope. Like just all different kinds of topics that relate back to navigating toxic workplaces. We actually have roundtable events as well, where the community can come together and just sort of uplift each other and be a support system, be either a shoulder to cry on or an ear to cuss at, or whatever you need in the moment. But yeah, you can reach out to me directly at connect@facewithgrace.org. Also, along the bottom of the screen, you can see the banner. Facewithgrace.org is our website. So we've got all of the services available there and all the events that are going on. You can RSVP there. You can just learn more about our story. So yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. And now, so all of these are virtual too, like the fireside chats that anyone can
Yes,
log in and join into them.
100%. Yes.
Awesome. When is the
Like,
next one coming?
so our fireside chat, the next one is May 10th, and that'll be from 9 to 10 a.m.
Okay.
Central. And then our next roundtable is actually this evening from 8 to 9 p.m.
That's amazing. So this evening from 8
Yeah.
to 9 p.m. Central.
Mhm.
That's awesome. And I'll be sure to include all of that into the show notes as well, Kaitlyn. So everyone can either check out the link that's on the banner below or check out the notes where you can access all of this. Kaitlyn, what else would you like to share with us? Is there anything else that you feel like is important to know about with workplace toxicity or mental health resources or anything else that you feel like is important?
I think that just knowing that I have heard from countless women now that they did feel alone, and hearing someone else validate what they're feeling, validate their experiences was reassuring to them. I know that what we're doing is a good thing, and I know that there's power in it. And I always encourage people that this is not an easy thing. Like I said, you can be walking through the middle of it and not even realize it. So I encourage people that if anything I've said has struck a nerve with you or maybe made you think, oh my gosh, maybe I'm walking through this, like hang on to that and don't ignore it. It's so easy to push these things down and silence it within ourselves because that's what we're taught to do as women. We just, rise up and we're strong and we can do anything. But listen to your body, listen to your mind, and feed it good things. And this is a place where that can happen. I like to think of what we're doing at Face with Grace as a combination of cheerleading and coaching. And that's why we call it motivational mentorship. I'm here truly to help uplift you and help you feel seen and help you recognize the amazing purpose that you have in this world and the amazing person that you are. And so just do your best to be brave and to come out and to not silence yourself, because you're your own best advocate always.
It's beautiful. It truly is, as your title suggests, like you're it's that grace, Faced with Grace. I mean, I think that's so beautiful that you are helping others see the beauty that's inside them and the worthiness that's inside us all, and that you don't have to suffer in silence. Like you are not alone. And that's so beautiful that you are providing this opportunity for such a, I think, very, like we were saying earlier, a very more common than we think about topic, and something that we really do need to start shining light on. And as well as like bullying too. I think that's like a topic that, we are starting to talk more about. But there is so much of this, okay, well, there's, in the schools, there's bullying, and that's important to address. Absolutely. But also there's this workplace bullying, there's this adult bullying. And how do we address that as well? How can we, talk about this, bring this out into the open more?
Right. And I think there's something to be said too, and not to conflate healthcare, but in healthcare, I think we carry this additional guilt of, well, I have to stick it out for my patients. I have to keep going. I have to fill in the blank. Right. And when I tell you that leaving the bedside for my mental health, while it felt extremely selfish at the time, has been the absolute best thing I could do to now serve more patients on a grander scale than I ever could have where I was before. So there is life after the place you're in. I hope that you can kind of take the blinders off and see that for yourself. And that if you are in that healthcare scenario where you feel like this pull and this obligation to patients, and that's what's holding you back, don't let it. There are more patients all around the world that need your help. And if you're trying to transition out of an unhealthy workplace, you're going to service not only your mental health, but those patients better down the road by getting to a healthier workplace.
Absolutely. I love that message. And I think that's so, so important. And you are serving so many people. That's incredible, Kaitlyn. Now, Kaitlyn, as we wrap up here, I mean, I love talking with you. I want to talk with you all day about this. I would love for you to share one more time about where we can find you, and again, like how we can check out more about Faced with Grace.
Sure. So you can reach out to me directly at connect@facedwithgrace.org, and then check us out on the web at www.facedwithgrace.org. There you will find all of our events that are ongoing. You can RSVP there, get the links to the virtual events, and see all the services that we offer.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much again, Kaitlyn. And thank you for everyone who listened in, for all your comments. Truly appreciate it. And anyone who listens to the replay, be sure to check out Kaitlyn. She's incredible. And I absolutely loved our conversation today. Thank you again.
Thank you. It was great to be here. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Well, have a wonderful day.
You too. Take care.